Hello and welcome to Highly Elevated with Asia Cara. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome and thank you so much for joining. And if you've been here since the very beginning, as always, thank you so much for your continued support. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. And if you're not having an amazing day, I hope that there's something within today's podcast that can help kind of shift that. So yeah, let's just get into some things. So last night I had this dream, this vivid dream. In the dream there were two moons. There was this lion that was just so fierce with this golden aura, and it had a purple mane, which was just so royal, and it was just so amazing to have this dream. Even though I didn't fully understand what was going on, I knew that even while I was in dream state, that something spectacular is getting ready to happen. Something amazing is getting ready to happen, because I know for a lot of us, including myself, it's like, okay, I have been putting in the work. I have been putting in the time and the effort, and not because I necessarily, want this abundance of, infinite cash flow or, something crazy. It's because I really want to see a change happen in the world. I really want to see a shift happen. I really want to see people begin to awaken. I really want to see people begin to walk in their purpose, So it's like when you've been putting in the work and you've been speaking the truth and operating in the truth and love and light, and it's like you don't see any real change, because the people around you are still doing what they do, and it's not in alignment. But when it's the people you love, it's like, damn, where do I go from here? What else is there for me to do? What else can I say to awaken? What else can I say to help initiate this change? What am I supposed to do? And it's so frustrating when, again, you've been putting in the time, the energy, the work to not only heal yourself, but be that change that you want to see within other people and in the world as a whole. And so that dream really just came on time, especially because yesterday was an extremely difficult day, and I really found myself being challenged from what felt like every angle. And there was a point where I really felt like I was going to snap and just lose all self-control. And Spirit was just like, you know what, just relax first and foremost. Be present in the here and now. What is it that's making you feel this way? And I felt that way because it's like, I'm speaking my truth. I'm speaking the truth. And no one's listening. It is so frustrating when you seriously put your all of your passion, all of your love, all of every part of goodness within you into something that you believe in, and nobody's listening. It feels like, what the hell am I doing this for? Why do I continue to talk? Why do I continue to love? Why do I continue to just live amongst the sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and unicorns when there's just so much chaos around me? What is the reason? Why am I still doing this? And I really had to get to the root of that, because it was about to come to the point where I told myself, I don't even want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this podcast. I'm sick and tired of talking. I don't even want to talk anymore. Like, it was really to the point where I just didn't even want to speak, because it's like, what's the point in me speaking and no one is listening? No one is actively listening. Yes, you may hear what I am saying, but you are not listening, because if you were listening, you would take my words and you would take heed to them. No, I'm not saying be just like me, but if I'm equipping you with the tools and the required ingredients, for your growth and your healing, and you just do what you want to, why am I going to keep talking to you? Why do I even want to talk at all? I don't. And that's where I was yesterday. In spirit, my ancestors, God, creator, whatever it is that, resonates with you, my whole spiritual team had to come through and really just help my mind and help my heart, and just help me to realign, refocus, regroup, all of that, in order to rebuild and recharge and reconstruct my mind from all of this stinking thinking. And I really want for each and every one of us today and every other day that we have breath within us, to remind ourselves that we are living proof. You are living proof. I am living proof that despite the pain, the circumstances, the chaos, that there is purpose in all of that. And in that purpose, we are able to, I am able to fight fears and release them. Because it's one thing to have a fear of not being good enough and you hold on to that. No, we must release that. And even though we're releasing those fears and those insecurities and that doubt and all of those negative emotions and negative feelings, we mustn't release them in that pain and in that state that we're feeling. We must release that in love and light. Because again, there is purpose in all of that. When we abide in peace, it's because we are peace. Okay? And peace surrounds us. And as we take this moment to inhale, and we are able to remain in the now and ground our energetic frequencies, that's where that releasing and that love and that light comes from. Because even though we may be feeling whatever it is that we're feeling, that's keeping us hindered, that's keeping our minds trapped, we have to exhale that and release every bit of that pain, every bit of that insecurity in love and light. So yeah, I just had to, kind of put all of that out there because, when I woke up and I got on social media, the first thing that I saw was, today there is a new moon in Leo. And I was just like, yo, that is so crazy. That is so crazy. Because the way my dream was set up with those two moons and the lion and the gold aura and, just the purple, it was just crazy, for me to get on social media, and one of the first things I saw was, hey guys, today there's a new moon in Leo. And I'm like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. So that's how I knew that I needed to get on here today, because with the new moon being in Leo, it's a time for expressing. Okay, it's a time for expression. It's a time for creativity. It's a time for freedom. It's a time to live in your truth, operate in your authentic self. And just like I was saying a few moments ago, it's an incredible time to release any doubts, any fears, any worry, anxiety around your skills and your talent and your purpose and your passion. And that's how we find true joy. You know, that's how we continue to operate in pure peace. So take this time to really focus on you. You know, don't even be caught up in the fact that you're living in your truth, you're speaking your truth, you're operating at your maximum potential, you're walking in your purpose. You know that you are great, you know that you are powerful, right? Don't even focus on nobody else. Right here, right now, you need to focus on you. You need to ground yourself, and everything else will fall into place, because you won't be so consumed about what everybody else is doing or what everybody else is not doing. Because in focusing on you and really, you know, walking in that divine energy, walking in that Leo energy, because Leos are fierce. Leos are powerful. Leos are loyal. Leos are royalty. Okay? Leos don't have pick me energy, because Leos know that they are who they are supposed to be. Greatness. Okay? Fierce. Just fierce. Leos are so fierce. So we really need to take this time to just have a clean blank slate, you know, and in that clean blank slate, that's when we are releasing all of that bullshit, okay, so that we can go on for the rest of these days in consciousness, with our intention set on being the fiercest version of us, being the baddest bitch that we can be, being phenomenal, being great, being powerful, really embodying who we are. You know, because when we take that focus off of what everybody else is not doing, that we feel that they should be doing, in all reality, we're hindering ourselves. So walk in your power, walk in your greatness, and the rest will flow. We have to set our intentions to be able to develop our creativity, you know, to enhance our vibrations, to enhance any and all capabilities that we are capable of. We have to put each and every one of our gifts into practice on a daily. So if you know you are a healer, speak healing over yourself. You know, speak those affirmations over yourself. If you are a teacher, teach yourself. You know, whatever it is, that's your passion, that is your purpose, practice. Okay? And that's when you begin to become more confident, and you begin to deepen your belief within yourself. So it won't even matter if nobody else around you is doing what you feel that they should be doing, or at the level where you feel that they should be at. Focus on yourself, because there's no need to aim for perfection, because perfection is seriously overrated. If you know each and every moment that you are doing the best that you can do, that you are giving it your all, that's enough. That's more than enough. As long as you continue to follow your heart and release any limiting expectations. Because when you are powerful and when you are greatness, there's no limitation to greatness. And if you've been feeling stuck, now is the perfect time. I know I just said, but now is, a great time and opportunity to see all the possibilities and recognize what could be stopping you from progressing to where you need to be. If you feel like you're stuck or stagnant, if you're feeling uninspired, because that was me. I was starting to feel uninspired again because I was focusing on what other people were doing to me, and not for me. I was, focusing on why aren't people listening to me, and I really began to feel uninspired so much, like I said earlier, that I didn't even want to speak anymore. I didn't even want to do a podcast. I just wanted to be quiet and just be completely in hermit mode. And that really affected my creativity in a negative way. So I really am just truly thankful that my whole spiritual team was able to quickly gather me, to keep me from going to this sunken place where I've worked so hard to come out of. And I had to choose what ignites me, what drives me, my passion, my purpose, my love, my truth, my light. And I had to stop letting my mind get in the way of my desires. I had to begin to challenge my thoughts. As the self-doubt crept in, as the worry crept in, as the negativity crept in, as all of those things crept in, it was like a tsunami flooded my mind. And part of it was because I still didn't feel like I was worthy enough to be able to progress to the stages that I am walking towards. There was still that self-doubt and that self-sabotaging that I completely had to rid myself of. And I had to call that out. I had to call myself out. I really had to look in the mirror and call out all of my self-limiting beliefs and say, hey girl, please don't forget who you are. You are greatness. Don't you ever forget that. And I had to set my intentions to heal those wounds. And those wounds, they were deep. They were really deep. But it's okay because, I had that amazing dream and I was able to put everything into perspective, and I was able to be here and be now and ground myself in the present moment to really get to the root, to really get to the core of my issues. Okay? So, for all of those emotional shifts that are taking place, or those deeper insights into your inner self, even the darkest version of your inner self. Because at the end of the day, all of that has shaped and molded you. And with all of those energies, we also have to realize that God is helping. Our creators are helping. Our ancestors are helping. Our spiritual team, they are helping behind the scenes. They are putting things in place that we didn't even know were possible. They see that we have been putting in the work effortlessly. We have been putting in the time. We have been putting in the effort, and we have been consistent, because that is what is most important, is consistency. You know, even when we feel like we fail in certain situations, in certain circumstances, it's not a failure, because it's what you learn and what you take away and what you're able to apply to future situations and circumstances. So even when you feel like you failed, it's not a failure, as long as there was something that you learned in the process. And we really have to just be in tune with our true self, with the truest version of ourselves, with the most authentic versions of ourselves. And once we are able to separate our truths from the stuff that we've been conditioned to believe, that's when we can really operate in peace. That's when we can really begin to operate in our authentic selves. So today, we are being challenged to embody the truest versions of ourselves. And we are being called to release any negativity, any false images, any mask, any pretending, anything that, you know, we've had to do in the public's eye to keep those, you know, who have conditioned us to believe a certain way, to appease them. We have to break free of that. And again, that's when we will begin to be at peace within ourselves. Because if we're wearing a mask for the world, even though we are in the era of a pandemic, you know, and I still wear my mask when I go out. You know, I still wear my mask, but sometimes you got to take your mask off so people can see you for who you really are, your authentic self, the truest version of you, because that is the greatest version of you. That is the most phenomenal version of you. That is the purest version of you. That is the best version of you. Don't let anybody take that from you. So spend some time by yourself. Get to know your emotions. Get to know your feelings as they come to the surface while you're sitting with yourself. Because that is truly fundamental. And while you're sitting with yourself, and while you're grounding yourself, and while you're operating in the now, you need to ask yourself, what changes can I make over the long term?